What is that? It's a rag of some sort, maybe. American flag, sorry, that's, I couldn't tell what it was. Now a book, maybe the Bible. It's hard to say, but he's waving a flag and a book. Once again, thank you for joining us on NBCLA. This is Gil Levis in News Chopper 4 Bravo, along with my pilot, Casey Sanders. We are over this pursuit that's been going on for, well, I would say about at least 45 minutes, if not an hour, maybe even a little bit longer than that. We first learned about the pursuit as the vehicle was coming northbound on the 5 freeway through South Orange County in the Mission Viejo area. The driver wanted for failure to yield when the CHP pulled alongside it and saw someone with a sign that said help. Now the driver northbound 101 freeway from the 110 coming into Hollywood, and as you see the driver acting very erratic, at one point waving a gun out the window at those officers. So the California Highway Patrol, multiple units in the helicopter overhead. Look at this, the driver hanging out the window, not paying attention to the cars ahead of him. We saw that earlier. We saw him almost rear-end somebody by doing that very thing. But fortunately, the traffic has lightened up here as we move further away from the 4 level. So really no traffic. I'm looking up into the Cahuenga Pass even, and it looks like it's going to be fairly light traffic, which is good news, but the driver refusing to pull over and just acting so erratic there out the window, waving a flag at one point, would look like a book. There is, coming tight to see what that is. I don't know if it's some sort of paper or maybe money. Pushing his hand flat as if to say back off, back off. So here's a look at the pursuit from a wider perspective as we travel northbound on the 101. Approaching Santa Monica. The CHP has issued a traffic brake behind, or set up a traffic brake behind the pursuit. And hey, Kevin, did you hear that transmission just now? Hey Dave, I'm sorry, were you trying to reach me? Oh shoot. I'll try K-Joy. Stand by. Thank you, Dave, thank you. Well, we're back with you on the web. This is Gil Levis, News Chopper for Bravo. We are on this pursuit that started down in Stand by. What did they just say? Okay, Kevin, thank you. Again, this pursuit starting down in the Oceanside area, moving up northbound on the 5, now on the 101 freeway coming into the Cahuenga Pass. The driver here refusing to yield to the CHP that tried to pull him over because they saw someone in the van with a sign that said help. Now, we're just learning that the driver is in communication with dispatchers with the California Highway Patrol, and he has notified them that he wants the FBI. He wants the FBI to be contacted. Also, the CHP trying to confirm how many people inside this van. And earlier, when the pursuit started, they said at least the driver and one other person. So that's what we know so far in this pursuit that's continuing. The driver extremely erratic, waving a gun out the window. That was just before the East LA interchange on the 5 freeway. And now coming into the Cahuenga Pass. Oh, okay, Kevin, thank you. Understood. It looks like the driver has the 101 all to himself, and that's because the CHP has issued a traffic brake behind this pursuit. The driver's still hanging out the window. The good news, really no other vehicles around the driver in front, and there's no traffic jams to speak of. So as he hangs his head out the window, he basically has the entire freeway to navigate, and that's a good strategy. The speeds have slowed down. Initially, speeds were well over 85 miles an hour earlier in this pursuit, even through South Orange County and into the city of Irvine as the driver traveled northbound on the 5. But now northbound 101 at Barham. Coming out to a wider shot, you'll see the CHP in trail, the helicopter overhead. The CHP tried to do a spike strip several times early on in this pursuit down in the South Orange County area, but they were not successful. They're not ruling out using that technique to try to bring this to an end. And the question is how much fuel is on board this van. It's unclear where this driver came from, but all we know is northbound 5 freeway is where they tried to pull him over in Oceanside, and that's when he failed to yield to those officers. The driver, again, just continuing to be very erratic. So now we have the 101 freeway and the 170, the transition or the interchange there. And so the driver can be going 101 or the 170. We'll see that in about a mile or so. And if the driver stays in that lane, well, he's kind of just right down the middle, so it's going to be hard to judge. It's going to be one of those last-minute things where the driver comes out and at the last minute tries to switch over to one freeway or the other. You saw 2 CHP vehicles there on the side of the road. across the gore point there, so he's going to be taking the 170. Now he's going to be taking 170 northbound from the 101. Made that jump at the last second as we anticipated. Well, this will put the driver into North Hollywood. And those cars were coming off the westbound 134 transition to the 170 north. The scanner traffic suggested that the CHP dispatchers have an open line with the driver making contact with the CHP and had asked the dispatcher to notify the FBI. They're very concerned about the fact that the driver waved a gun out the window during this pursuit back. That was out just south of the East LA interchange on the 5 freeway. Northbound 170 freeway crossing Burbank now. The next freeway will be the 5 again, so the driver, if he stays on the 170 and doesn't exit here, he's going to join back on with the northbound 5 freeway. There's no other transition at that interchange for the driver to take except the 5 northbound. So if he stays on the freeway, he'll be picking up the 5 freeway in Pacoima, but right now northbound through North Hollywood, and the CHP not backing down, and they're considering all options here to bring this pursuit to an end, but at this point they're just trying to be patient. So far there's been no, that we know of, no accidents with other vehicles, although there's been a couple of close calls, as I was saying, as the driver not paying attention to the road and sticking his head out the window and coming really close to rear-ending people. Right now the traffic is very light on the 170 and no traffic coming in from behind because of the traffic break. So right now the driver has all lanes available to him. They're saying 30, 35 miles an hour. You're seeing the CHP unit there offset to the passenger side of the van, and that's because that driver was waving a gun out at one point out the window. Now the speed's picked up to about 55 miles an hour according to the units behind. The CHP unit is behind the white van. Another about a mile and we'll be on the 5 freeway. The strategy for the CHP is to try to be as patient as possible in this situation and keeping those officers and everybody else safe so that